The rock world still hasn't recovered from the loss of Taylor Hawkins. And if we're being honest, neither have the Foo Fighters. When Taylor died, it didn't just shock fans. It broke something inside one of the tightest bands in modern rock. Because this wasn't just a drummer. This was a brother. A partner. The heartbeat behind one of the most powerful live acts of the last 3 decades. And for a long time, Dave Grohl didn't really talk about what that loss did to him. From the outside, everything looked normal. The band returned. The music continued. The shows came back. But behind all of that movement was something much heavier. Something Dave is only now starting to admit. Because the truth is, he wasn't healing. He was running. After Taylor's passing, the Foo Fighters did what they've always done. They kept going. They went back into the studio. They stepped back onto the stage. They pushed forward like nothing could stop them. But according to Dave, that wasn't strength. That was survival. He recently admitted something that completely changes how we look at the last few years. He said he was afraid of silence. Afraid of stillness. Afraid of what he might feel if everything just stopped. Think about that. This is Dave Grohl, a guy who built his life on music, energy, movement. And even he couldn't sit alone with what he was feeling. That tells you how deep the pain really went. So instead of slowing down, he sped up. Work became constant. Projects stacked on top of each other. Tours, recordings, appearances. From the outside, it looked like dedication. But inside, it was something else entirely. He described it like using music as a crutch for a broken limb. That line alone explains everything. Because when you're constantly moving just to avoid feeling something, eventually, that movement starts to lose meaning. You're not creating because you want to. You're creating because you don't know how to stop. And that sheds a completely different light on everything the Foo Fighters have done since Taylor's death. Including one of the most confusing chapters in their recent history, Josh Freese. When Josh joined the band in 2023, it made sense. He was respected. Experienced. Technically flawless. Fans felt like the band had found stability again. Like maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of a new chapter. But then, just as quickly as he arrived, he was gone. No big announcement. No clear explanation. Just silence. And that silence created a storm. Fans speculated. Rumors spread. People started asking what really happened behind the scenes. Because for a band as massive as Foo Fighters, moves like that don't just happen quietly. Or at least, they usually don't. Now Dave is finally addressing it. And his answer isn't dramatic. It's not scandalous. It's actually much more human than people expected. He said the band chose not to make a spectacle out of it. No press release. No interviews. No public breakdown. Just a quiet decision. And more importantly, he pointed to something Josh himself had said. That the music didn't fully resonate with him. And that matters. Because sometimes, even when the talent is there, the connection isn't. And in a band that's dealing with this level of emotional weight, that connection might be the most important thing of all. This isn't just about playing drums anymore. This is about feeling something real. Which brings us to the next unexpected move. Elon Rubin. When the Foo Fighters brought Rubin into the picture, it caught a lot of people off guard. But night after night, show after show, he's been winning over fans. Not by trying to replace Taylor, but by simply doing the job with honesty and respect. And that's the key. Because no one can replace Taylor Hawkins. Not Josh. Not Elon. Not anyone. And maybe, the band has finally accepted that. This isn't about replacing what was lost. It's about learning how to continue without pretending it didn't matter. And that shift is everything. Because for the first time since Taylor's death, this band isn't trying to recreate the past. They're trying to build something new, while still carrying it with them. You can feel that change in Dave Grohl. The way he talks now, it's different. There's less urgency, less chaos, more reflection, more honesty. He's not hiding behind non-stop work anymore. He's starting to face what he spent years avoiding. And that's where this story becomes bigger than just music. Because what Dave is describing, a lot of people understand. That instinct to stay busy so you don't have to think. To keep the noise going so you don't have to hear what's inside your own head. To tell yourself you're moving forward, when really, you're just not ready to stop. But eventually, that catches up to you. And it caught up to him. He admitted that many of the things he did over the past few years weren't driven by passion. They were driven by the need to prove something. To prove he could keep going. To prove the band could survive. To prove that everything hadn't fallen apart. But now, that need is fading. And in its place is something much more real. He says he's re-examined his ambition. That's a big statement. Because for most of his life, Dave Grohl has been the guy who never stops. Always another project. Always another stage. Always another reason to keep moving. But now, he's starting to understand that not everything needs to be chased. Not everything needs to be proven. Some things just need to be felt. And that brings us to this next chapter for the Foo Fighters. A new album. A new tour. A new era. But this time, it feels different. Because this isn't just about coming back. It's about understanding why you came back in the first place. And maybe for the first time, the band isn't trying to outrun what happened. They're carrying it. Every show now has that weight. Every song feels connected to something deeper. There's an emotion in it that wasn't there before, not because the band didn't care, but because now they understand loss in a way they never had to before. And the fans feel it too. Because when the Foo Fighters take the stage now, it's not just a concert. It's something shared. A reminder of what was lost, and what still remains. That's why this moment matters. Because this isn't just a band continuing after tragedy. This is a band redefining itself because of it. Taylor Hawkins is still part of this story. Not in the way anyone wanted, but in a way that still shapes everything they do. And for Dave Grohl, the silence he once feared may finally be teaching him something. Not how to forget. Not how to replace. But how to live with it. And maybe, how to create from it. The Foo Fighters are moving forward. But this time, they're not running. They're walking through it. Feeling it. Understanding it. And for the first time in years, they're not afraid of the silence anymore. But here's the part of the story that nobody is really talking about. What happens after the comeback? Because it's one thing to return to the stage. It's another thing entirely to stay there, night after night, carrying something that never really leaves you. And that's where the Foo Fighters are right now. This isn't the emotional return anymore. That moment already happened. The tributes, the first shows back, the overwhelming support from fans, that was the beginning. Now comes the harder part. Living with it. Because grief doesn't fade on a schedule. It doesn't disappear once the tour starts. It doesn't ease just because the lights come on and the crowd starts cheering. If anything, that's when it becomes even more complicated. Because every song they play now has history attached to it. Every drum fill reminds people of Taylor. Every chorus hits a little differently. And for Dave Grohl, that reality is unavoidable. Imagine standing on stage, looking out at thousands of fans, hearing them sing along, and knowing there's one voice missing behind you. One presence that used to be there every single night. That doesn't just go away. And yet, he keeps going. But now, it's not about pushing through it. It's about understanding it. And that's the shift that makes this era of the Foo Fighters so powerful. Because instead of trying to recreate what they had, they're building something that acknowledges what they lost. That takes strength. A different kind of strength than people are used to seeing in rock music. Not loud. Not aggressive. Not defiant. But honest. And honesty hits harder. You can see it in the way Dave talks now. There's no pretending. No hiding behind the rock star image. He's not trying to come off invincible. He's letting people see that this changed him. That it slowed him down. That it forced him to ask questions he never had to ask before. Why am I doing this? What actually matters? What am I running from? Those aren't questions you expect from someone who has spent decades at the top of the rock world. But maybe that's exactly why this moment feels so real. Because it strips everything down. No image. No expectations. Just a person trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. And in a strange way, that might be what keeps the Foo Fighters going. Not the legacy, not the pressure, not the expectations, but the connection. Because fans aren't just watching a band anymore. They're watching people go through something real, in real time. And that creates a bond that's hard to explain. You're not just cheering for the music. You're cheering for them to make it through. To find meaning in it. To keep going without losing what made them who they are. And that's why this next chapter matters more than any album, any tour, or any lineup change. Because it's not about success anymore. It's about purpose. And Dave Grohl seems to finally understand that. He's no longer chasing validation. He's not trying to prove he can keep up the pace. He's not running on fumes anymore. He's learning how to exist in a way that's sustainable, honest, and real. And maybe, just maybe, that's where the best music comes from. Not from pressure. Not from expectation. But from truth. Because when you stop trying to outrun something, and finally face it, that's when everything changes. And for the Foo Fighters, that moment is happening right now. So the question is, can a band ever truly recover from a loss like this? Or do they become something completely different? Maybe that's what we're witnessing. Not a return to what the Foo Fighters used to be, but the beginning of what they're meant to become now. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more real, emotional breakdowns of the biggest stories in rock history, hit like, subscribe, and stay right here. Because some stories aren't just about music. They're about what happens when the music stops, and what comes after. What do you think? Can the Foo Fighters ever truly be the same without Taylor Hawkins? Or is this new chapter exactly what they needed to survive? Drop your thoughts below. And if you felt this story, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because we're breaking down the biggest stories in rock, the way they're meant to be told. And before we come to the end of this video, I just want to take a moment to say a very big thank you to all of you for watching. Your time truly means a lot. In a world where there are thousands of videos you could be watching right now, the fact that you chose to spend a few minutes here with me on Hajara Rama TV is something I truly appreciate. This channel continues to grow because of viewers like you. Every view, every comment, and every bit of support helps this community become stronger. And that's what makes creating these videos so rewarding. If you enjoyed this video, please take a quick moment to like the video, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends or anyone who might enjoy this content. Your interaction really helps the channel reach more people who love stories, entertainment, and updates just like you do. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, Hajara Rama TV, and turn on the notification bell so you'll always be among the first to know when a new video is uploaded. There are many more exciting videos coming your way very soon, and I would love for you to be part of this journey as the channel continues to grow. I also enjoy hearing your thoughts, so feel free to drop your opinions, ideas, or suggestions in the comment section. Your voice matters here, and your feedback helps make Hajara Rama TV even better. Once again, thank you so much for watching and for being part of this amazing community. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, stay entertained, and keep watching Hajara Rama TV.